In the silent sanctuary of existence, where the veils of time dissolve and ancestral wisdom resonates through the ages with a persistent echo, we are about to unveil a compendium of esoteric truths that transcend common perception and challenge the very foundations of your understanding of reality. This is not merely an intellectual discourse, but rather an epiphany, an initiation into the arcane principles that govern the ineffable fabric of reality, principles that often remain hidden beneath the veil of everyday life and the materialistic conception of being. Prepare to deconstruct every preconceived notion about the strenuous struggle to realize your desires, for what is about to be revealed will lead you by the hand beyond the illusions of fatigue, anxiety, and the sense of helplessness that too often grip the human soul. It will guide you toward a deeper understanding of your intrinsic and inexhaustible creative power, a power that does not await acquisition, but only rediscovery and mastery. The following words, attributed to the venerable Thoth, the mythical divine scribe and guardian of the Hermetic mysteries, serve as master keys, capable of unlocking a secret hidden for millennia at the very heart of the universe and humanity. A secret that, once assimilated not only cognitively but also vibratorily, will make your every aspiration no longer an arduous conquest or an unattainable utopia, but an inevitable and harmonious manifestation. As the Greek philosopher Heraclitus astutely observed, a man's character is his demon, meaning not an external force, but rather the intrinsic destiny and potential that each individual embodies and which, through awareness, can actively shape. This is the core of the unspoken. We are not passive spectators of our existence, but incessant co-creators, and our external reality is the faithful projection of our internal universe, since destiny is forged in the conscious application of knowledge. If the echo of these first and profound revelations has already touched the most sensitive chords of your soul, sensing in them the resonance of a primordial truth waiting only to be reawakened, then I urge you, with the solemnity such a discovery deserves, to express your immediate assent. A simple like, in this instant, is not a mere superficial gesture or an impulsive action, but rather a silent pact, an unmistakable signal of profound resonance that you send to the universe and, with it, to me. It will be your luminous imprint, your energetic signature attesting to a profound inner resonance, an intimate recognition that these words touch you deeply, awakening you to a new understanding of yourself and the world. Thus, I will know clearly that our vision aligns, that you are an integral part of this circle of like-minded souls yearning for wisdom, awareness, and inner mastery. Furthermore, if you wish to further support the dissemination of this transformative content, actively contributing to the awakening and enrichment of countless other consciousnesses still seeking these truths, please consider subscribing to the channel. This delicate and thoughtful yet impactful gesture will allow us to continue producing invaluable material, together forging a future filled with light, understanding, and heightened awareness for all. What you are about to hear in the next few moments may be deeply disturbing, for it will reveal the inherent fallacy of every previous notion about striving strenuously to pursue your dreams. There is a message, whose authorship is ascribed to Thoth, the venerable scribe of the deities, which dispels the veils on a secret arcane. Your incessant battle, your titanic effort, and your pervasive anxiety stand as intrinsic obstacles to the materialization of any desire. The first illumination is it manifests itself in this self-evident truth. The universe does not respond to your explicit pleas, but rather receives a silent signal, a constant frequency that you unknowingly utter 24 hours a day. At this moment, this signal could be working against your intent, vehemently rejecting the abundance, love, and serenity you so intensely crave. You are about to learn that the solution lies not in increased effort, but in a specific key to modulating this frequency. However, the most shocking revelation, the one that will truly disturb you, is the third, which reveals how your current reality is the irrefutable testimony of a latent programming operating in the hidden depths of your psyche. Continue to see, for what is hidden is about to be revealed in all its power. Man, as a star bound to corporeality, awaits his final liberation through the ascension of his own longing, and the keystone of this process lies intrinsically in my vibration. You've just realized that your stubborn struggle may be the very root of your failure. But if vain effort fails, what will? There is an ineffable language, an ethereal frequency that the universe not only deciphers but instantly conforms to. This arcane idiom has nothing to do with your utterances or your overt actions. It is the same language that Thoth revealed to the ancients, the true key to mastery over matter. It is the secret that transforms a prayer of request into a peremptory command, and we are about to begin to unravel it right now. This silent language, which the universe not only understands but instantly obeys, is vibration. The universe perceives not words, but frequencies. You may proclaim your desire to prosper 1,000 times, but if within you there is fear, doubt, or a sense of unworthiness, that is precisely what the universe perceives. Do not attract what you desire with your lips. Attract what you vibrate into the silent sanctuary of your soul. The Proverbs already asserted, "As he thinks in his soul, so is he." The image you hold deep within is the germinal seed of the reality that manifests externally. The teachings of Thoth, engraved on the emerald tablets, state that all is mind. The universe is mental in nature. This implies that the reality we perceive is a projection of the universal mind, and our own mind is a spark of that same primordial mind. The silent vibration of the soul, mentioned in the text, represents the frequency our psyche emits. Every emotion, be it fear, doubt, gratitude, or love, is a command sent to the universe, a form of mental prayer that shapes reality itself. Feeling is the true prayer, the energetic signature you send to the cosmos at every moment. Napoleon Hill astutely emphasized, "You become what you think most of the time. But beyond that, you become what you feel and deeply believe." External life is a faithful mirror of your internal state. If you vibrate with scarcity, worry, and desperate effort, that is precisely what will continue to reproduce itself in an incessant cycle. Your reality is an echo. If you scream fear into the valley of existence, the echo that returns to you is fear itself, materialized in events, people, and circumstances that validate that original feeling. The time has come for introspection, to observe what you silently vibrate throughout the day. The irrefutable revelation is that you are already a powerful manifester, but you may be manifesting the wrong circumstances simply because of your ignorance of this universal language, the language of the mind. Your primary task is not to learn how to manifest, since this ability is intrinsic to you and you practice it with perfection. Your task is rather to learn to consciously direct this manifestation, becoming a master of your own frequency, no longer a slave to emotional reactions and tumultuous thoughts. If you begin to vibrate with love, gratitude, and abundance, even in the absence of tangible external evidence, the universe begins to bend to your new identity. You don't need to convince anyone. Simply become what you desire to experience. Don't just say, "I desire peace." Be peace. Don't simply say, "I want prosperity." Live as one who is already prosperous, even if you possess only a tiny grain of faith for now. Vibration does not lie, and it is vibration that shapes matter. So today, pause and reflect. What have you been? How have you felt silently every single day? You now know that your feelings are the language that creates your reality. However, this discovery leads to an even more surprising and inescapable conclusion. Look around you. Absolutely everything in your existence today, from your bank account balance to the people you interact with, is a direct reflection of a vibration you emitted in the past. And what this mirror is revealing to you is the key to transmuting every aspect of your life. It is the law of correspondence, one of the fundamental pillars of Hermeticism that Thoth has passed down to us and which we will now use to decode your existence. Your life is the irrefutable proof of this mirror of reality. The law of correspondence, one of the cornerstones of Hermeticism, a legacy from Thoth, reveals that every aspect of your life today is a direct echo of a vibration you emitted in your past. Every detail of your present, every experience you live, is a faithful mirror of what you held deep within you yesterday. Your reality is not a mere coincidence. It is a precise response. The Holy Scriptures, in the letter to the Galatians, admonish us that whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. This principle refers not only to the harvest of external actions, but also to a harvest of internal states, thoughts, and emotions. The Hermetic principle of correspondence, as above, so below. As below, so above, is the cornerstone of understanding that your external reality is a faithful mirror of your internal world. If there is debt, it reflects a vibration of scarcity. If there is loneliness, it is the reverberation of a vibration of unworthiness or fear. Life is not an arbitrary randomness, but a precise manifestation of your dominant internal frequencies. Observe your bank account, your relationships, your health. They are not the problem, but the symptom, the printed diagnosis of your prevailing vibration. You have sown fear and now you reap insecurity. You have sown scarcity and now you reap limitation. You have sown gratitude and now you are beginning to reap peace. Napoleon Hill wisely taught that the subconscious mind transforms any idea dominated by emotion and repetition into reality. In other words, what you feel deeply day after day begins to shape everything around you. The home you live in, the money you earn, the relationships you experience. All of this is a reflection of mental images and silent beliefs, operating like invisible roots supporting the tree of your reality. External change requires internal change. You can change cities, jobs, or partners, but if your internal state remains the same, the results will repeat themselves cyclically. The world does not change until the being is transformed. So, stop now and look around you. What has your life revealed about what you have vibrated? The answer may be harsh, but at the same time liberating. This is the moment to fully reclaim power and responsibility. Guilt is dissolved and replaced by empowerment. If your inner world created all this, your inner world can create something completely different. The feeling of being a victim of fate is annihilated, and in its place arises the awareness of being the architect of your own existence, a true alchemist of being. You are not a vessel adrift on the ocean of life subject to the storms of chance. You are the captain who, even unknowingly, has charted the course of your own voyage with the helm of your own thoughts and feelings, and now you can consciously take the helm. Accepting that you have created your current reality is the most difficult step, but also the most liberating, for if you are the creator, you can create again. But how? It's not just positive thinking. There is a specific technique, almost a secret guarded by mystics, that allows you to build your future in the present. It is the method that allows you to experience the end from the beginning, a secret that Thoth whispered to his initiates and which holds the key to transmuting your reality. The secret that Thoth whispered to his disciples, which allows you to experience fulfillment from the beginning, is the technique of abiding in the final state. This means acting, thinking, and feeling as if what you desire is already a reality. This isn't self-deception, but reprogramming your subconscious for a new identity. Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer with faith, believe that you have already received it, and it will be given to you." The verb is in the past tense, you have already received. True faith experiences the end from the beginning. This is the core of internal alchemy, the transmutation of lead, the current state of lack, into gold, the desired state of abundance. Thoth, in his teachings on the mind, emphasized that imagination, when imbued with emotion and faith, is the most powerful tool for shaping reality. The subconscious, the alchemical laboratory of the mind, does not discriminate between what is real and what is intensely imagined and perceived. It simply receives the feeling as a command and begins working to materialize it on the physical plane. Napoleon Hill taught that the subconscious only accepts what is perceived as true. It does not distinguish between the real and the intensely imagined. Therefore, when you live as if it already were, the subconscious understands it is real and begins to create paths, ideas, and opportunities that confirm that state. It's not about pretending, but about aligning yourself vibrationally with your desire. It's an internal recalibration, a shift in identity that precedes external change. You stop being the one who waits and become the one who already has, assuming the feeling of already being or having what you desire. You are activating the principle of generation, planting the seed of your new reality. You must learn the difference between pretending and embodying. It's not about lying to yourself, but about aligning yourself vibrationally with the future reality. The practical method is to focus on the emotion, not the absence. It's about feeling grateful for the abundance that is already yours in the invisible, even if your account is empty. It's about feeling the love that already fills you, even if you're alone. Live like one who is already prosperous. Speak like one who is. Walk like one who has already received. Even if nothing has changed on the outside, everything is already reorganizing on the inside. Your vibration communicates to the universe that you're ready, and when you're ready internally, the outside begins to align. So, stop waiting to feel worthy when something happens. Feel now as if you're already experiencing it. That feeling is the seed, and time will take care of the harvest. Now you have the key to reprogramming your mind and starting to build your future in the invisible field, but many fail at this point for one simple reason. They can't let go. They plant the seed and then dig it up every 5 minutes to see if it's growing. The next step is the most difficult for the modern mind, but it is what unlocks the magic. The art of surrendering to control, a profound teaching of Hermetic wisdom that separates students from masters. Conscious surrender, the act of trust that unlocks miracles. To illustrate the power of conscious surrender, Thoth, in his wisdom, often told his disciples the parable of the patient gardener. Imagine a meticulous and devoted gardener who planted a precious seed in the soil. Every day, he carefully watered it and exposed it to sunlight. However, instead of confidently awaiting its germination, his anxiety drove him to dig up the seed. He dug the seed over and over again to check if it was growing, to ensure his efforts hadn't been in vain. Each time he dug it out of the soil, the seed suffered trauma, its delicate roots were broken, and the growth process, rather than accelerating, was halted. Until, exhausted and disappointed, the gardener realized that true mastery lies not in relentless control or impatient haste, but in the art of trust and fertile patience. He left the seed alone, confident in its intrinsic ability to germinate. Only then, with its surrender to the natural rhythm of existence, did the seed blossom, revealing the beauty it was meant to be. So it is with our desires. True magic manifests when we carefully plant the intention and then entrust it to universal intelligence with unwavering trust, without digging up the seed with anxiety. The art of relinquishing control, a profound teaching of Hermetic wisdom, unlocks the intrinsic magic of existence. Anxiety manifests itself as the language of those who lack faith in the fulfillment of their prayers. It is the lament of the mind struggling to master the uncontrollable. However, there is a higher dimension: conscious surrender. Surrender is not abdication, but trust. It is proclaiming from the heart, "Lord, I have done my part, now I let go." It is the act of placing the seed of one's intention in the fertile soil of the subconscious and trusting that universal intelligence will take care of its germination. Conscious surrender is the application of the principles of rhythm and the principles of polarity. In Hermeticism, everything ebbs and flows, and anxiety is the attempt to halt the natural flow. Surrender is the recognition of a higher rhythm, of a universal intelligence that orchestrates events. It is the point of balance between the poles of desire and acceptance. It is the understanding that, after the act of planting desire, comes a time of quiet, the trust that precedes the harvest. Trying to force the outcome is comparable to trying to make a plant grow by pulling its leaves. In the Book of Psalms, it is written, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him and He will act." It does not say, "Fight until you collapse," but "Trust." Napoleon Hill asserted that when faith is combined with a defined purpose and persistence, it unlocks doors that effort alone could never open. The desperate mind blocks. It is so busy trying to force things that it fails to perceive the signals coming from the invisible. It creates a sort of static that prevents the reception of the intuitions and synchronicities that the universe sends as a map to your treasure. Thoth taught that true mastery lies not in control of the external world, but in control of oneself, and surrender is the pinnacle of this self-mastery. A peaceful mind is intrinsically receptive to intuitions, signs, and synchronicities that a desperate mind could never grasp. Paradoxically, by surrendering, you take true control, aligning yourself with the invisible force that orchestrates all things. Stop rowing and allow the divine wind to fill your sails, guiding your vessel with a wisdom and precision your limited mind could never achieve. The peace born of trust reveals itself as your most powerful ally. A beleaguered mind blocks intuitions and signals. By surrendering, You become a perfectly tuned radio, capable of picking up the synchronicities and opportunities the universe sends. Surrender is not passivity, it is active receptivity. It is being alert with an open heart and a quiet mind, ready to act when divine inspiration manifests, knowing that it will arrive at the perfect time and in the most propitious way. When you surrender, you create space for the invisible to operate with its power. However, the act of surrender does not imply inactivity. The next step involves learning to act, but not just any action. There is a crucial distinction between action that impoverishes and action that creates. And this difference is what separates those who toil in vain from those who, with a single gesture, seem to move mountains. A fundamental truth of the operative alchemy that transforms intention into matter. The crucial difference between the action that drains and the action that generates. An inescapable truth of operative alchemy distinguishes those who toil in vain from those who, with a single gesture, seem to move mountains. We live in a culture that values doing over being, but the truth is that actions alone lack intrinsic power. What determines the outcome is not so much what you do, but the vibration with which you perform it. The same action undertaken from a place of fear leads to failure, but performed from a place of faith produces miracles. Alchemy is not merely about the transformation of metals, but about the transfiguration of yourself and your reality. Aligned action represents the application of the principles of rhythm and cause and effect. Action without alignment is like a pendulum swinging aimlessly, producing only a replica of itself. Thoth believed that true magical action arises from an inner state of harmony. It is action that flows from a place of certainty and peace, not from need and desperation. It is action that serves as a channel for the will of the whole. The letter to the Romans reminds us that whatever does not proceed from faith is sin. This means that even praiseworthy actions, if performed without faith, lack intrinsic spiritual validity. Napoleon Hill reinforced this idea. Action is essential, but only when it springs from a burning desire, a deep conviction. Ceaseless action is no guarantee of success, but vibrating correctly is the starting point for all manifestation. Have you ever observed people who work tirelessly all day without achieving anything, and others who, with a few focused actions, move mountains? What changes is the vibration, the internal state that precedes the action. Before acting, align, breathe, pray, visualize, and only then act with presence, intention, and faith. This is transformative action, born from a heart at peace. For in the spiritual universe, it's not the clamor of the movement that matters, but the frequency of the soul that underlies it. An aligned action can be a simple phone call, a conversation, a decision, but because it's charged with the energy of faith, it possesses the power to reshape reality around you. An action undertaken out of fear or doubt carries that energy with it and produces corresponding results. The same action, performed with faith and certainty in the final state, becomes exponentially powerful because it resonates with the universal mind. It's time to adopt the pre-action alignment ritual. Before an important call, a meeting, or any task, pause for 60 seconds, breathe, connect with the feeling of success already achieved, and only then act. This small change transforms the results. You've discovered the power of action born of faith. But every action you take, every thought you entertain, is planted in fertile soil, and that soil is the present moment. What you may not realize is that your future doesn't begin tomorrow. It's being decided this very moment, through the seeds you're choosing now. This is the law of cause and effect in its purest form, one of Thoth's deepest secrets. And it is here that you take full control of your destiny. Today is the soil of tomorrow, the power of micro-choices. The law of cause and effect in its purest form, one of faith's deepest secrets, reveals that your future doesn't begin tomorrow, but is being shaped right now, this very moment, through the seeds you choose in the present moment. What you are experiencing at this very moment is not attributable to the present. It is the consequence of your yesterday. Everything that exists now was first sown somewhere in your emotional history. Life makes no mistakes. It simply reveals what is. Proverbs teaches, "A man's heart determines his way, but the Lord directs his steps." This is the crucial point where the promise of the title begins to fully manifest. The Hermetic principle of cause and effect, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause, reveals that the present is not random, but the sum of all your past vibrational microchoices. Vibrational hygiene is the practice of purifying the soil of your mind, weeding out the weeds of doubt and fear. It is the conscious act of choosing which seeds you will plant in the garden of your mind at any given moment. Napoleon Hill stated, "You are today where your thoughts have led you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts lead you." If your current reality is limited, it is because your past thoughts vibrated with scarcity. If your relationships are fragmented, perhaps you have vibrated with hurt, mistrust, abandonment. But this is not to blame you, it is to awaken you. For if the present is the result of the past, then the future will be a reflection of the now. Today you hold the power to transmute everything if you shift your frequency. Thoth taught that mastery of oneself is mastery of destiny. Shifting your destiny begins with shifting a single thought, a single emotion, right this moment. It is here that you become the true alchemical master of your reality. This transformation does not begin with grandiose actions. It begins with small, silent decisions. It begins with choosing a new thought before bed. It begins by repeating a new affirmation in the morning. It begins by imagining a new life with faith, even if only for a minute. The present is the soil, and you are the sower. Stop and ask yourself, what kind of seeds have you planted? For sooner or later, they will become your world. Every worried thought is a seed of anxiety. Every moment of gratitude is a seed of abundance. Every act of forgiveness is a seed of peace. You are constantly sowing. The only question is whether you do it consciously or unconsciously. And the tool for consciously sowing is the most powerful one you possess. You have the power to plant a new future at any moment. And the most effective tool for this sowing is not external to you. It is internal. It is something you use every day, often unconsciously and destructively. But when used with intention, it becomes the divine workshop, the place where the invisible becomes visible. It is the laboratory that Thoth described. It is where the mind becomes the creator of matter, and this laboratory, which we are about to learn to use, is the imagination. Nothing exists in the material world that was not first born in the invisible. Every creation begins as a thought, and every thought is nourished by the imagination. Genesis reveals that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Before every visible action, there was an intention, a vision, a word. So it is with us too. We are created in the image of the Creator and possess the gift of imagination and manifestation. The principle of mentalism is the foundation here. All is mind. The universe is mental. Imagination is not an escape from reality. It is the womb of reality, the alchemical laboratory where ideas are formed before solidifying. Thoth, in his Emerald Tablets, describes creation as a mental process in which words, thoughts, and intentions manifest. Using imagination consciously means actively participating in the process of universal creation. It means aligning your individual mind with the mind of the whole. Napoleon Hill clearly stated, "Imagination is the workshop of the mind, where plans for success are formed." When you visualize with faith, you plant. When you perceive the image as real, you water it. And when you repeat with conviction, you reap. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the first stage of reality. Everything you can clearly see in your mind can become tangible in your life. It is the architectural blueprint that precedes the construction of the edifice of your experience. But the secret lies in feeling. It's about perceiving as if you were already living it. Now imagine your ideal life, your home, your freedom, your healthy body, your serene smile. See it, feel it, breathe it. With this simple act, you are activating invisible forces. The subconscious mind does not discriminate between physical reality and emotional imagination. It responds only to the dominant vibration. Therefore, you must use your imagination as a sacred instrument, not as auto-escape from life, but to create a new one. It's time to learn the technique of sensory visualization. It's not just about seeing what you desire, but about feeling it, smelling it, hearing it, and touching it. It's about creating an internal experience so real that your body and subconscious react as if it were already happening. Emotion is the glue that transforms the image into reality, activating the generative principle within you. Emotion brings the image to life and turns it into a magnet that attracts corresponding circumstances. And never underestimate an image nourished with faith, because whatever you see clearly and with emotion within you, the universe finds a way to make visible. Your imagination is the portal, but a portal requires keys to open. Simply imagining is not enough. There are two specific commands, two practices that, when combined, transform the mental image into a direct and undeniable command to the force that governs 95% of your life. These are the keys that Thoth gave his disciples to unlock the mysteries of the subconscious, and we are about to reveal them now. The keys of the subconscious, the nightly ritual that shapes reality. The keys that Thoth gave his disciples to unlock the mysteries of the subconscious are visualization and affirmations. There is a portal between mind and matter, and it opens when three forces come together: intention, image, and emotion. This portal is called conscious practice and has two keys: visualization and affirmations. Jesus said, "If you believe, you will see the glory of God." Note the order: first believe, then see. Faith precedes manifestation. Faith is the feeling that validates the image. This nightly ritual is the practical application of operative alchemy, the transmutation from the conscious mind to the subconscious. The moment before sleep is when the mind enters the alpha state, a state of heightened receptivity in which suggestions are absorbed directly from the subconscious. Thoth taught the importance of etching truths into the inner mind. What you sow in this fertile soil in the minutes before falling asleep will germinate during the night and manifest in your life. Napoleon Hill described this as autosuggestion, repeating ideas with such emotion that the subconscious begins to accept them as truth. It's not enough to say, "I am prosperous," as if you were repeating an empty phrase. You must feel it, see it, and allow that statement to come to life within you. Visualization isn't daydreaming. It's an intentional construction. Close your eyes and imagine yourself entering the house you desire. Imagine receiving that sum of money. Feel the emotion of a free, balanced, abundant life. The more real the emotion, the deeper the programming, and affirmations are the verbal command that reinforces that image. Phrases like, "I am prosperous," "Money flows to me easily," "My mind attracts what aligns with my purpose," repeated with faith, take root in the subconscious mind, which shapes 95% of your reality. The best time for this practice, right before sleep, is when the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious mind opens like fertile ground. Now you receive the exact methodology. Affirmation. Choose a phrase in the present tense, "I am," and repeat it feeling the emotion. Visualization. Build the scene of your fulfilled wish and experience it internally. Release. Fall asleep in the feeling of gratitude, as if the request had already come true. This is the promise of the title, which begins to materialize concretely through the conscious manipulation of mental energies. So tonight, before closing your eyes, try it. Breathe deeply, affirm with intention, visualize with feeling, and then simply fall asleep peacefully. Now you have the keys and the instruction manual. You have the power to planting seeds of a new reality every night. But after this entire journey, from the paradox of effort to conscious surrender, it all comes down to one final truth. A single sentence that, if truly understood, changes the game forever. It's no longer about doing something to get something. It's about who you become. The true alchemical transmutation of being. The true alchemical transmutation of being is the final harvest. Changing the world around you begins with an invisible gesture, transforming the atmosphere within you. And this isn't something achieved through positive thinking alone. It's a practice, a new way of life. The letter to the Philippians says, "Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there is any virtue, if there is any praise, think about these things." This is not a poetic suggestion. It is a spiritual guide for reprogramming the mind. The ability to manifest anything does not come from an isolated technique. It comes from understanding and applying the 7 Hermetic principles in their fullness. Mastery of the principle of mentalism, all is mind. Vibration, all vibrates. Polarity, all has 2 poles. Rhythm, all ebbs and flows. Cause and effect, every cause has its effect. And gender, everything has its male and female. Manifestation is the result of your inner alchemical transmutation, the transformation of your being into a vibration of abundance. Napoleon Hill said, "Control your mind and you control your destiny." But how do you do this in practice? The key lies in 3 fundamental pillars. First, awareness of thought. Observe your thoughts as if you were the guardian of a sacred abode. Whenever a thought of fear, scarcity, or doubt arises, immediately replace it with an affirmation of faith. For example, if you think, "I'll never make it," reply with, "I'm growing every day. The universe is opening new paths for me." This is an act of relentless mental discipline. Second, nighttime rituals. Before falling asleep, disconnect from the outside noise, breathe deeply, repeat affirmations with unwavering faith, and visualize the life you ardently desire. The subconscious mind, in those quiet moments, absorbs every suggestion with amplified power. Third, spiritual environment. Create a space around you that nourishes and supports your faith. Avoid negative conversations, toxic content, and environments that drain your vital energy. Instead, nourish your mind with uplifting words, soul-healing music, and messages that awaken awareness. These practices don't require a huge expenditure of time. Rather, they require a pure, focused intention. When you align your being with the vibration of what you desire, manifestation becomes inevitable and effortless. Stilling, trusting, and being are the true arcana, the culmination of Thoth's teachings. The journey concludes with an emotional call to action, a pressing invitation to declare your new identity and seal your commitment to this new way of being. Perfection isn't required, but consistency. Stilling, doing your part, and allowing the invisible to do its part is essential. There's no need to rush. Trust is essential. Beloved soul explorers, having arrived at this crossroads of revelation, you have understood that true power does not reside in the ephemeral external world, but rather dwells in the deepest sanctuary of your being. It lies hidden in your state of being, in the vibration you silently emanate, in the ineffable faith you hold in the most sacred recess of your heart. You have learned that the universe does not respond to hastily expressed wishes, but to the emotional frequency with which you live each day. Life returns to you what you believe you are. Be abundance, and abundance will find you. If you have come this far, if these words have resonated like an ancient melody in your spirit, leave a comment with a new word, a neologism that evokes your cosmic yearning. This expression will seal your commitment to every truth revealed, a silent pact with the universe and with yourself, declaring, "My vibration builds my reality." This gesture, an intimate declaration, represents not only an act of participation, but the beginning of a radical transformation that will radiate into every aspect of your existence. And if these words have instilled within you a spark of hope or a new understanding, please show your appreciation with a like, share this video with those you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is a seal of affinity, an accession to our growing community of souls, and allows us to continue creating and sharing content that inspires, uplifts, and awakens. Your presence, your likes, and your invaluable support are the lifeblood that fuels this awakening project, allowing us to navigate the waters of uncertainty with the certainty of sharing. May the light of awareness always guide your steps, and may your life be an orchestra of harmonious manifestations. I wish you a bright journey filled with external perspectives. With a heart full of gratitude and the hope that the light of truth may always guide your steps, I greet you warmly, with the certainty that your future is being woven now, in every one of your conscious vibrations. See you soon.